If you are thinking about selling your home this year, whether you're in the Back Bay, in Arlington, in Hingham, in Milton, anywhere in the greater Boston area, there's something that you need to understand up front. And that is not all listing agents handle the job the same way. And in this market, the gap between the average agent and a strategic agent can easily mean a six-figure difference in your outcome. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 things that your listing agent should be doing to maximize the purchase price for your home and to get you through the transaction as smoothly as possible, not just get the home sold. This isn't about hype, this is about leverage and how to create it. Number 1 is alignment before strategy. Before pricing, before timing, before marketing, your agent should be getting aligned with you. Not just your price, your priorities. What does success actually look like for you? How important is timing? Where are you flexible? Where are you not? Because 2 identical properties can require 2 completely different strategies depending on the seller and their situation. One seller might push for every dollar, the other might push for more certainty and control. Neither is wrong, but the strategy should reflect that. A strong agent does not start with a plan. They start with a lot of questions and build the plan around the answers. Because throughout this process, decisions are constantly being made. And if your agent does not understand your priorities up front, those decisions are going to get made for you instead of with you. Number 2, pricing and positioning. Once you are aligned, pricing becomes a strategy and not just a number. This is where a lot of sellers get tripped up. A lot of people think pricing means starting high and leaving room to negotiate or anchoring to something like the Zillow's estimate. But overpricing doesn't create leverage. It usually costs you leverage. Because once your home hits the public market, that's when the clock starts. Buyers can see days on market, price changes, and listing history. So if you want to test an aspirational price, make sure you do it before you go public with the listing. That way, a smaller audience can give you real-time feedback without having accumulated any days on the market. Because no comps, no algorithm can fully predict how a buyer is going to respond to your home. So that reaction is actually what determines the value. From there, pricing becomes a lot more intentional. Are we driving competition? Are we targeting a specific buyer? Are we adjusting based on feedback? The goal isn't to aim high here. It's to create the strongest response when the home actually launches on the MLS. Because competition drives price, not guesswork or leaving room to negotiate. Number 3, pre-market preparation. Once pricing is set, preparation is next, and not every home needs a full gut renovation. A lot of sellers feel pressured to do some renovating before they go on the market, and most people have enough on their plates already. A strong agent is going to help you understand what is worth doing, what is not worth doing, and where you're going to get the best return on your efforts. Sometimes that just means small, targeted updates. Other times it means doing very little, but presenting the home strategically. And if your home isn't fully updated and you don't have the patience or ability to make those updates, that's totally fine. But your agent should still be able to show you what demand looks like for homes in the same condition in that neighborhood, and how to position and present the property so that buyers can focus on location and potential and not the work that needs to be done. Because buyers are not just buying the home as it is, they are buying into the future of what that home could be. Number 4 is marketing that creates demand. And marketing isn't about just putting your property online and creating exposure. It is about building momentum before, during, and after the launch. Professional photography is the absolute bare minimum baseline here, and I cannot even believe how many listings I see posted that have been clearly taken with iPhones versus a professional photographer. So if your listing agent is taking photos with their iPhone, run in the other direction as fast as possible. So those professional listing photos are the bare minimum baseline and create the foundation for the rest of the layered marketing approach. So before the launch, what is your agent doing to pre-market the listing to potential buyers and buyers agents out there? At the launch, what are the professional visuals, the presentation, and the story behind your home? After the launch, is your agent going to be sending out postcards to the entire neighborhood, letting them know that your listing has just come to the market? Are they doing targeted digital advertisements on Google, on social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram? Are they doing email outreach to active agents in the area that they know are transacting regularly in that specific market? Are they doing reverse prospecting to agents that have buyers that are looking for homes just like yours? All the way down to the nitty-gritty, high-quality materials that are being given out at open houses and private tours. These materials should be reinforcing the value of the home in the eyes of the buyer, because exposure alone is not enough. The goal is to create demand and competition, and that comes from a layered, intentional marketing approach, and not from your agent putting the property on the MLS, sticking a sign in the yard, and then keeping their fingers crossed that the right buyer comes through. Number 5 is transparency, feedback, and real-time adjustments. And this is one of the most important things, I feel like, and one of the reasons that I see a lot of sellers that end up disappointed with the agents that they hired because they're not getting this section right. So once you're live, communication should feel proactive and not reactive. You should not have to chase your real estate agent for updates about the listing. You should have a live feedback report at your disposal. That's going to be updated in real time after every showing, illustrating what buyers out there and what buyers' agents are actually thinking about your property. On top of that, you should have at least a scheduled weekly check-in where your agent is going to share with you all of the listing activity, all of the listing insights, the marketing performance, the buyer feedback, and what the logical next steps are. The goal here is not just to collect information, it's to actively respond to it. And when you're interviewing agents out there, this is something that you should definitely ask them to show you, not just tell you about. Ask if you can see what their feedback tracking looks like. Ask them where you go to see updates throughout the listing process. Ask them how you are going to know what's coming next at any point without having to actively reach out to them. A strong agent should be able to actually pull up some kind of a dashboard or platform that's going to inform you where you are in the process every step along the way, what's been completed, what's coming next, so that you are never guessing over the course of the transaction. And even beyond the sale, beyond the closing table, that proactive level of support should continue. They should be giving you access to a resource hub of the best contractors around, the best local resources, places to go get dinner, places to go get drinks. They should continue to be a luxury level resource for you after the closing. Your relationship with your real estate agent should not end at the closing table. In my opinion, it should start there. So selling isn't just a set it and forget it process. It is very active, very dynamic. And when it's done right, you are not just informed, you are confident in every decision along the way. Number 6 is offer strategy and negotiation. When offers start coming in, this is another place where differences start showing up between real estate agents out there. When it comes to offers, it is not just about the highest number. It's about the strength of that offer and whether it can actually get to the closing table. Two offers can look very similar, but be completely different when it comes to the financing, the terms, the appraisal risk, and how the offer is communicated. Sometimes the highest offer is not the strongest offer. If the terms do not support that purchase price, that number can fall apart very quickly. So when you're interviewing agents, don't just ask them to show you. How do you compare two different offers? Can you walk me through a real example? What red flags do you look for from buyers or from buyers' agents? How do you protect against renegotiation weeks into the transaction? A strong agent should be able to walk you through and illustrate how they operate, not just give you an answer. Because the goal here isn't just to get under agreement, it's to get to the closing table with your terms intact. Number 7 is strategy, timing, and reading the market. At a certain point, this becomes less about checklists and systems and more about reading the situation. A strong agent knows when to push for competition, when to stay patient, when to create urgency, or when to adjust the strategy. Buyers today are a little bit more selective, but they will still compete if a home feels worth it. What works in the Hingham or the South Shore single-family home market might work completely differently in the Boston area or Back Bay condo market. Again, this is something that you can ask your agent. When would you set an offer deadline? When would you stay flexible? Have you adjusted a strategy mid-listing before? Because the best agents out there can follow a checklist, follow a system, follow a strategy, but they can also adapt and pivot if the situation calls for it. So if you are thinking about selling a home this year, the biggest takeaway is not timing, it is strategy. because the market is going to do what the market is going to do. But how your home is positioned, marketed, and negotiated for, that is going to be what drives your outcome. So if you want a second opinion or you want to have a strategic conversation around your listing, feel free to reach out. We are happy to help. No pressure, no obligation. We will just talk through where you are at and create a little bit more clarity around your options. And if nothing else, don't just ask your agent what they do. Ask them to show you what they do and why they do those things. Because in this market, it is not just who you hire, it is how they think, how they operate, and how they guide you through the process. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe for more Greater Boston real estate tips, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.